passe l'artiste. Super, encore un but sensationnel. That's a brilliant bit of follow-up play by Mahe. Oh my goodness me, what a shot.
Sagosen setter det hen! Han setter den! De i semifinale igjen!
Welcome to another episode of the Handball Hour. It's myself, Brian Campion, Chris O'Reilly, and Alex Kulish here. And we are just getting into the main round now at the Handball World Championship. And we have probably three big talking points to discuss today on the podcast. And that would be the Brazil-Portugal game, Norway's victory over
Serbia, yes, thank you very much. Norway's victory over Serbia, and of course the big clash, Denmark versus Croatia. And today on the podcast, we said we try and edit a little bit less. We'll see if Chris leaves that one in. What a great start, huh?
Well, there's just too much good handball. It's hard to keep up, right? It's
too much.
It's the main round.
Yeah, it is.
Great games all around. Even Belgium put it up to Egypt, but we won't touch on that. I think we probably should start with the game of the tournament. So
there's one more talking point I want to throw in there in this really short, unedited episode, is the Paul Skorupa bite or no bite.
I have an opinion on that.
So do I.
Let's start with that.
Alex,
go. So
go on,
this
Alex.
is the USA player, Paul Skorupa, who got sent off, got a straight red card for apparently biting a Bahrain player in their 31-28 loss to Bahrain. I watched it back a couple of times, and what happens is that Paul kind of comes in to tackle the player, but he doesn't fully catch the arm, so the arm is a little bit free and ends up kind of in front of his head. And what it looks like is he kind of moves his head down and takes a chunk out of the Bahrain player's arm. That's what it looks like. He kind of goes down and it looks like he bites the player. But there was no bite marks. You know, the Bahrain player was like pointing to his bicep constantly. There's nothing there. It was just a beautifully chiseled Bahrainian arm. No marks on it. But what I think what happened was because he tackles the player, he stops the momentum, but the arm is still free. So in his head, I'm going to pin this arm down with my head. He basically pushes his head down onto that arm to try restrict the movement and stop another pass going on. And it looks like a bite, but actually I don't think he meant to bite it.
Yes, that is exactly what he also claims happened. So he Lubeck Schwarta, the club he plays for, released something on Instagram with his quote explaining exactly that. And of course, for most of us, that seems like a completely ludicrous thing to do. However, Alex, you also have a mind of
I would do that. Defender,
much like Paul. Paul is a bit of a nut job as well. We've played against him, Alex. We've seen him in the hotel in Georgia. You know, he's an oddball in a lovable way, but he was literally doing whatever he could to stop the defender and clamp that arm down. And I can only commend him for that, because that is something that wouldn't go through most players' mind. But he said, what have I got left? I've got my chin. I'm going to stop his arm with my chin. And, well, unfortunately for him, the referees didn't see it that way at the time. And, hopefully he doesn't get a ban for it. Because
oh no, officer, I was just merely resting my mouth on his bicep.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was a big turning point in that game, because he was having a stormer in defense at the time, and they were just 2 goals down, ended up losing by 5. But there you go. So, Paul Skorupa vindicated on the podcast.
At least according to us. But will we continue with this TMZ theme? And Brian, you did your best of getting the fire started on handball Twitter after that Croatia-Denmark game.
Yeah, but
one of the talking points was that Duvnjak, red card or no, as you posted.
Yeah. When I first watched that, I thought it didn't even seem like a punch. It just seemed like his hand was there. But it's the last replay of it then when you really see he has a closed fist. And defending with a closed fist is a bit of a weird thing. I can't remember ever doing it back in my playing days, to why you would have a closed fist at any point. He doesn't swing at him. It's more of a push out with both hands. But again, why would you have a closed fist in someone's neck? But that's another thing. I would probably lean towards the side of...